Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Gerard Pratt, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Petty Officer Stuart Strachan. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria, and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony from across Australia. During the ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors and including those joining us today from Boston University, Massachusetts, and the United States of America. I invite you all now to please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. For those of you who are able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through until the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths and floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Flight Sergeant Ian Hunter Fleming. Born in the village of Cheddington in Buckinghamshire, England, on the 17th September 1919, Ian Fleming was the son of John and Mary Fleming. When Ian was young, the Fleming family emigrated to Australia. The young Ian Fleming attended St Joseph's Nudgee College in Brisbane and then Marist Brothers College in Sydney, before attending Xavier College in Melbourne. A keen sportsman, Fleming enjoyed running as well as playing rugby union, golf, squash, cricket and table tennis. As the Fleming family settled in the Perth suburb of Nedlands, Ian Fleming began work as a freelance journalist. Before his enlistment in the Royal Australian Air Force on the 5th of February 1943, Fleming had served in the 2nd Australian Imperial Force. He had enlisted under the name of Ian Hunter and served as a Lance Corporal in the 35th Infantry Training Battalion, before posting to the 16th Battalion Headquarters Company. After 12 months in the 2nd AIF, Fleming was given a transfer to the Royal Australian Air Force to train as an air gunner. He received initial training in Australia and in October 1943 left Sydney for overseas service. As part of the Empire Air Training Scheme, he was one of almost 27,500 RAAF pilots, navigators, wireless operators, gunners and engineers who, throughout the course of the war, joined the Royal Air Force squadrons or Australian squadrons based in Britain. In Britain, Fleming undertook further specialist training before being posted to No. 12 Squadron Royal Air Force in July 1944. Part of RAF Bomber Command, No. 12 Squadron was equipped with 4-engined Avro Lancaster heavy bombers. On the night of the 23rd to the 24th of October 1943, the Lancaster, in which Fleming was a tail gunner, was taking part in a bombing raid over Essen in Germany. His plane was shot down and crashed near the border of Germany and the Netherlands. Fleming and all 6 of his crewmates were killed. They were fellow Australians Warrant Officer John Phillip, Flight Sergeant Douglas McLean, Flight Sergeant John Kelly, Flight Sergeant Arthur Llewellyn, Flight Sergeant Kenneth Rowley, and their British crewmate, the flight engineer, Sergeant Frank Niblett. Ian Fleming was 25 years old. Their bodies were recovered from the crash site, and the crew are buried side by side in the Winterswijk Cemetery in the Netherlands. Fleming's name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my left, amongst almost 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. A photograph of his headstone is displayed beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Flight Sergeant Ian Hunter Fleming, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières, or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you all for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.